Hey everyone, and welcome to another round of Canje Plays. Today, I'm excited to play for you Lobotomy 2 Manhunt. This has been a game that I've had in my collection for a very long time, still in shrink wrap on my shelf of opportunity, and I'm so happy to be able to play it for you today. We're going to be doing the tutorial scenario, but I'm going to change up a few things about the tutorial scenario because to me, the book didn't show it in the best light. There was a lot of confusing moments that happened in it. And with the new expansion that's going to be dropping in a few days, I want to go ahead and just kind of do this playthrough to see if it's something that you would like. Yeah, before I begin, definitely thank you to my patrons, subscribers, and anyone just coming in to check out this video. Thank you and welcome as well. So we'll get things started. We'll show this and we'll see Lobotomy 2 Manhunt. The first character we're going to be playing with during our setup is Wicked Jimmy. That's right, John Wick. Wicked Jimmy. So our characters that we're going to play have their health, so he's going to have 8 health. They have these innate abilities that you can get to do. Some of them are passives, like this here that says P, and it says passive headshot. Add a success, that's what the lobotomy devices. Sorry, my brain shorted on what they're called. So, but add a success when attacking a monster that is not in your space, because that's how John Wick is, or Wicked Jimmy. If I have enough insanity built up, I could spend 2 insanity. So when I defend, I get to add a success on my next defense, so I'm able to block some damage coming in. And then if I have 5 insanity on me, which are insanity tokens that you earn for killing monsters, as well as just die rolls, and you'll see that in the playthrough. But if I spend 5 of those as one of my 3 actions, I can attack any monster rolling 3 red dice, piercing through armor, and if I roll any of those lightning symbols, it's an extra success. And my range there is from 0 to infinity, line of sight not required. So I'm curving the bullets around every corner. As long as it doesn't matter where they are on the board, I can hit them. Wicked Jimmy is amazing. I know you'll also notice up here where it says quest. Every character comes with their own quest. So once you complete their quest, you get to flip them over to their insane side, and you'll get to see what that looks like. So for Wicked Jimmy's quest, defeat 2 monsters that dealt damage to you. So if anyone hits you, you hit them back and you kill them. Once you're able to complete your quest, you flip your card over and you go to your insane side where your stats get buffed a little bit more. His headshot gets a little bit more buffed up. So it really gives him the the John Wick feel as it goes, as you see it goes from that, right? Your character has, so these numbers here are the amount of dice you roll for the check that you're going to do. So for strength-based attacks, you're going to roll Wicked Jimmy will roll 2 dice. For dexterity-based, he'll roll 3. For discovering items, in terms of saying, okay, well, I'm searching through a test, or I'm doing a search test through a locker, or just searching in a room, he'll roll 3 dice and see what happens from that. And then any type of willpower, he'll just only roll 1 dice. Also, you'll notice that he comes with disorders. So there's a deck of disorders that come, you shuffle those up, and that's extra abilities that they give you. In case of Wicked Jim, for the tutorial, they don't have you start with this, and it's not really lined out in the tutorial until later on, which is a little confusing. So I'm going to go ahead and forgo how the tutorial's doing things and just let you have those, only because it's really cool to have those starting abilities that you have. So his starting one is aggression. So from the aggression deck, you shuffle them up, and you're going to draw 1, and our aggression card is going to be Exploding Palm. Now there's cooldowns on these disorders that are here. So an aggression disorder, which you'll see has the symbol disorder aggression, and when you pull one, it'll say Exploding Palm. So on a cooldown of 2, for no action points, as long as this is active, put a fire token on a monster on your space. If that monster is defeated this round, all monsters on its space lose health equal to the defeated monster's max health. So if the monster had 2 health, and it dies during this round, all other monsters will suffer that 2 health damage, doing this cascading explosion of amazing things. And that worked really well with Wicked Jimmy, which is amazing. Once this is used, you put a timer cooldown of 2 on there, and basically it's down until you get those timers off and be able to use it again. So that is his aggression disorder. His OCD disorder, which comes in these from this deck, will be self-absorption. So as a passive ability, characters in range 0 to 2 may give you weapons and equipment cards as if they were in your space, because you can trade in this game, which we'll talk about. But this that costs 1 action point to activate, and this has a 4-time cooldown. Discard any number of weapon and equipment cards from each. For each discarded card, draw a replacement of same type. So if you get something of weapons or equipment that you don't like, you can use this once every 4 cooldowns to just redraw as many as you need to see if you can get something better, which I think is pretty cool for him. So it makes him a little bit more versatile, as Wicked Jimmy / John Wick is. John Wick will also start with a straitjacket. This is your starting equipment. Very easy to identify. Basic equipment's on the back. And every character will start with a straitjacket for what they have going. And it's just basic armor. So whenever you're going to defend, you're going to roll a blue die to defend. You can upgrade this card. That's what these symbols mean. And how you do that is these symbols here are symbols of junk. So if you, at any time during your turn as a free action, if you discard 2 junk items, you get to upgrade it, and now you'll roll 2 blue dice. If you do 3 junk items after that, then you'll be able to roll 3 blue dice whenever you defend, which is a pretty strong set to try to defend with. Wicked Jimmy will also have a weapon to start. Very important. So this is a sling that he starts with. This says basic weapons. You have a set of basic weapons that you start with, but this is really good for him because it makes use of this symbol, which is his evasion. So if he chose a strength one, he'll only roll 2 dice, but with this, he'll roll 3 dice based on that symbol that's up there. It'll be range, whether it's in his range or 1 away, and when you roll, I can re-roll 1 die if I want. Now, I can upgrade this weapon to discard 2 junk to upgrade this weapon, and then this weapon goes to any lightning symbols or automatic successes. Wicked Jimmy, that is one of our characters. Our next character is going to be Demi Hawkins, or 11, from Stranger Things, so it kind of works out pretty well. She will have 6 health. For 0, basically, and this symbol means once per turn, so you can't keep spamming this. So that symbol means once per turn. So for 0, she can use Mind Over Matter, gain +1 to her brain attribute until the end of the round, or move to a character, a monster, or a locker currently in range 3. So she is either getting stronger mentally, or she's pulling things towards her. Or moving things towards or away from her wherever we want them to go. So that's pretty strong. Brainstorm X, it says X for the sanity usage here for you to use. It is an action, so it says attack with a green die in range 0 to 2. You may spend X amount of insanity. These are the things that, this is a symbol here that you use to spend to use this. So you can spend any amount of that to add 2 successes for each, and you lose 1 health. So basically, and that's a period, so it's not add 2 successes and lose 1 health per each. It's, I can add 2 successes by burning all those for Brainstorm, and at the end of that, I lose 1 health. So I'm just kind of weakening myself to get a stronger attack at the time if I really need it. As a passive, she has Mind Control. You may spend X amount of the sanity to reroll X number of dice while attacking or defending against a monster in range 0 to 3. So she's got a lot of reroll potential. Her quest says use Mind Over Matter to move a monster to a space within a character 4 times. Not during a round, just do it 4 times, and then we will switch to our ult ability, which I'll show you in a second. She's not that strong, so if she's doing any type of physical challenges or tests, she'll only roll 1 die. She's not that fast, so if she's doing any dex-based things, she won't be that fast. But for willpower, she's very strong, and she could boost that up to 4 for a round, right? And then she'll have, for searching and looking around, she'll roll 3 dice. So her disorders are schizophrenia and anxiety neuroses. And when you get her to her ultimate form, she'll flip over to her insane side, to where you'll see some of the abilities get a little bit stronger. Like, for instance, here you see her search and her willpower shoot really high, but her abilities stay about the same. This one's reroll X plus 1, so that goes up a little bit, but this stays the same. Oh, this one gains piercing whenever you roll a lightning symbol. Her health's a little bit better that you see there, but that's kind of where she lines up for when we get her, complete her quest and get her to her insane side. For her neuroses, her schizophrenia disorder, which shows like this, which we randomly drew, is blurred vision. It's going once used, it doesn't cost an action point to use, but it is active, but it will go on a three-time cooldown. Draw a spawn card for each individual non-boss monster on your space. Blink the monster to the nearest spawn point of corresponding color. The monster is defeated if an event or reshuffle spawn card is drawn, which we'll talk about the spawn deck as we continue to go through this setup. But this is pretty strong for her. It's kind of using her brain power to break people down. The next thing that she has is her anxiety neuroses. And yes, that's a spider for the people who hate them. She has stress relief, which once again, it doesn't cost an action point. It's got 2 cooldown. Restore health to yourself. Spend 1 sanity spend 1 sanity, instead restore 1 health to all characters in range 0 to 1, line of sight not required. So basically, if I spend 1 sanity using this, I heal everyone for 1 instead of just, or I could just not use it and just heal myself for 1, which is, it matches with her pretty well. Of course, you know, as I said, all heroes start with a straitjacket or patience in this regard. But her starting weapon will be a spell scroll, which will make use of that wonderful brain power that she has. And it's a basic. She'll roll 3 dice. If she used that ability, of course, it'll be 4. But she'll roll 3 dice, and in range 0 to 2, she'll do that attack, and she can upgrade it, discarding 2 junk to make lightning symbol successes. So Demi Hawkins will be our next patient at the asylum where we're going to be. Our final patient for this playthrough is going to be Matt Riggs. Riggs, will it to me? So Matt Riggs is basically Morpheus. As you can see, he has 8 health, and his passive is red pill or blue pill. When you use a red or blue pill, oh yes, there are pills in this game, you roll 1 additional die of the same type. So basically you could spend pills to re-roll dice, so it's a little bit of dice mitigation. If I get a red pill or a blue pill, I can re-roll 1 additional die of the same type instead of just 1 die. This is a one-time use ability. I can spend X amount of sanity, use another character's non-passive innate ability. It costs 1 additional sanity to use it. So, for instance, if I wanted to use Demi Hawkins' passive mind control ability, I can use it. It would cost how much ever sanity I'm going to spend plus an additional. So in this case, if I wanted to use this once, I would have to spend 2 sanity to be able to re-roll those dice. So he has the ability to make use of hers, kind of learning, show me your kung fu. We have another once per turn ability. If I spend 3 sanity, choose a character in range 0 to 2. They discard 1 equipment or weapon card and draw 1 replacement of the same time, which is choose your destiny, so you get to pick what you're going to do. And then finally, we've got reality bend. If we spend 4, reduce the cooldown of all your disorders by 1, which is pretty cool for him. His quest, change 3 items with your choose your destiny ability. So if we change 3 items, we flip over to our ultimate form, which I'll show you in a second. He's got 3 strength, which is pretty good. He's not that fast, which is funny because of the Matrix movies. But he does look for stuff pretty well, and his willpower is just kind of middle of the road. He has schizophrenia and anxiety neuroses as a disorder. When he flips, he turns into Matt Riggs, insane Morpheus guy. Health goes up. I believe it costs the same. Yeah, so your show me your kung fu costs you the same amount, so it doesn't cost +1. That goes, and then this one helps you heal as well, which is pretty cool. His strength definitely goes up, and so does his other 2 stats, and his schizophrenia and neuroses still stays there, so that's pretty cool for him. In terms of his disorders, his schizophrenia that we grab randomly from the deck is going to be Dragon Breath. He needs a breath mint, maybe some Banaka. So basically, he will roll. It will have on a 3 cooldown. This will cost an action point to do an attack. I'll roll 2 red dice, 2 green dice in range 0 to 1. This will hit. This is basically the AOE symbol. It causes fire damage to everyone in that AOE symbol, and if I roll any type of lightnings, those count as successes. So this is a pretty powerful spell that costs an action point, but if you're trying to clear out an area full of enemies, that's actually pretty awesome. I also have my drawn disorder anxiety neuroses, which comes with insecurity. Passive, ignore lightning and sanity in non-boss monster attacks. basically non-boss monster attacks can cause these problems to you, and you don't want to take those, so you get to ignore those. For active 0, so this doesn't cost an action point to do, I could draw 2 pills, which it actually this card draw actually really works out for who these characters are. It's very thematic. It's completely by accident, I swear. So it's going to have a 4 cooldown to draw those 2 pills to see how those go. And that's going to be our 3 characters fully set up on the board for us to play, as we have their minis here that I've painted. I painted them myself. So I painted Wicked Jimmy, Demi Hawkins, that's right here, as well as Matt Riggs for what we have set up. This is the patient ward that's here that's going to get set up for when we do our board setup set. But the other thing that they get is when you start the game, you put all the pills into the pill bag, and each person, you shake them up, and each person starts with a pill of their choice. Well, not of their choice, but from the random pills that you pull from the bag. So Wicked Jimmy gets a, I think that's green. Yeah, it gets a green pill. It's not meant for the colorblind for sure. Gets a green pill, so if I'm rolling any green dice, I could spend that pill to re-roll one of those dice. Demi Hawkins will get a blue pill for what they have, and Matt Riggs will get a brown pill. So if I ever have to roll any brown dice, I can spend that pill to re-roll. And that's our starting set. The game is played over a series of rounds where the rounds are the players take their turn, each player playing having 3 actions per turn of whatever they can do, as long as they don't have to use all 3 actions, they can pass their turn, but there's no reason why you shouldn't, so therefore they'll each get their own 3 action points to do with what they need, but they can use abilities that don't use action points to do specific things to set themselves up, and it really works out. After the player's turn, it's going to be the monster's turn where the monsters on the board move. You then draw from this spawn deck, and basically when you pull from the spawn deck, it tells you what monster to summon where. So for here, I would spawn an alien dog in the closest one of these symbols to any of the characters. So let's say, for instance, these 2 characters over here, he's over here, and we got another board over here that has the same symbol. This dog would spawn here because it's closest to him. We want to get these monsters as close to our characters as possible for them to attack, and then every monster on the board attack. The reason why they do that is because if I'm here and he's here and I pull this, the monster will spawn here, and then this monster just spawned will get a chance to attack. When we do our playthrough, it'll make total sense on how that works if you have not played this game before, or if you're still kind of like, well, what are you talking about? It'll make sense. So this is going to be the setup and the build-up for our characters. We have our equipment cards shuffled, which we've already done. We have our weapon cards shuffled, which we've already done. And we've got everything set up. What we're really looking to do, and the symbols I'm talking about, the sanity, is these symbols here. So whenever you kill a monster, you will gain an insane. If you kill 5 monsters, you don't gain 5 of these. You still gain 1 for if all 5 of those monsters die at once. So for instance, if you have in this space, think of it like Zombicide. If you're in this space and there are 5 monsters in this space, and I throw a grenade in here and it kills all 5, I don't get 5 of these, I just get 1 for that 1 attack that killed the monster. However, if in my 3 actions I take 1 action, I kill a monster, I'll get 1. If I use my next action to kill another monster, I get another 1. Does that make sense? As I said, you'll see more as we play out. This is just the setup video, and after that's done, we'll be ready to go. The dice that we have, the basic dice that we have for attacking is this. There's 1 blank side. There's a side with a lightning bolt and a success, a side with double successes, and then the rest, and the side with insanity, and then the rest of the sides are just successes. So basically think of this as a 1, and this is the 6, right? So if you roll a nat 1, you're going to miss. If not, you're going to go against. The monsters themselves also roll defense to try to block against you, so they'll either be rolling this blue die or this or this brown die. The blue die is kind of like your base, so once again there's the miss, and these are successes, but these don't work for the monsters. This is more for us, right? So whenever you're rolling defense, you want to see this type of symbol to say that you block an attack that's coming in. So there's the double. There's one that kind of gives you insanity. There's the lightning symbol that's on here. And then the defense just kind of ups that where I don't think there's any way for you to miss on these dice. So this one you can't miss at all. The upgrade to this die is actually the red die, which gives you all the hits. I think a triple hit is the highest one, and there's no misses on the red die. So if you're ever able to upgrade from a green to a red, that is a very good thing. But monsters also have where they roll blue or brown dice to go against. These are the dice that they'll be going, that you'll by and large be rolling throughout this game. So just kind of, you'll see these come up a lot as we play through. You're probably going to see that symbol a lot for me because that's how I roll. So we'll see how that shakes up. Most importantly is just to have a good time with how this is set up. A lot of people shy away from this game because they're like, it's dealing with the subject matter of mental health. But I got to be honest with you, I think it tries to take it. I think it tries to take it lightly by saying if you flip this and make it a dungeon crawl, you would get the same feel. The neuroses are just kind of think of them as extra abilities that any character would have, and the pills that are there are just for re-rolling dice. So it doesn't. I think the theme of it being in a medical hospital, in a psychiatric hospital, is a thing that gets people very scared for this game. But it's not. It's actually not that bad. I will say that the rule book is not the best, and it can make you shy away from it, and it can be very frustrating. But I'm going to try to make that a little bit easier for you as we go through this game and play it some more. So with this game fully set up, our characters fully set and picked up, we will finish getting this. We will finish getting this game set up in our next video and start playing immediately. I just kind of wanted to show you the build out so we didn't waste too much time with that. But thank you so much for joining. I look forward to starting this series and letting you see all this entire playthrough, and we will go from there explaining more about the game. Until then, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.